What's going on, guys? Today we're back in the shop and you guessed it, we're going to be wrenching on the 240 again. So in the last video, I got the gauges pretty much finished up. I just got to finish it off by routing my AFR sensor and bolting it up to the exhaust. No big deal, that won't take me very long at all. So we got one of my favorite boxes in, a nice GKTech box. I love GKTech stuff, very affordable and good quality. So I got one of their banners. Got to rep GKTech. I'm going to be figuring out where to put this up in the shop shortly. And we got a pair of their rear upper control arms. So all my other control arms are good. My rear uppers desperately need to get replaced though. So this is what I'm mainly going to be focusing on today, is getting the rear upper control arm sorted out, the AFR gauge sorted out, and probably eyeing out an alignment and taking it for a test trip. So I'm really stoked on the quality of these rear upper control arms. They've got nice geometry to them that kind of helps to clear the body. It's kind of hard to explain, but the flat version of these arms, when you lower the car, they can kind of come in contact with the body. It's not really something I'm too worried about, but it should help out regardless. The heim joints seem like they're really nice quality, and it feels like this arm should last me a pretty long time. So I'm pretty stoked on the quality of these, and yeah, we're gonna be putting them in the car today. They also gave us a couple stickers and a little bit of information about the arms. Guys, I highly recommend checking out GKTech's YouTube channel. Their videos are very informational and very detailed, so they're a really good watch. So if you go watch their videos, you'll be buying their products in no time, trust me. These things also come with a little boot to help protect the heim joint, just to help it last even longer, which is a really nice bonus. So yeah, I can't wait to get these things in. Get those old crusty upper control arms pulled out and get these new fresh ones in. So let's go ahead and get started on this thing. So I'm going to start off by getting my O2 sensor sorted out. Essentially, I just need to get this wire to the other side of the car and up to the exhaust so I can get my sensor bolted in and plug it in and get that gauge finished up. So I'm going to start by fishing this wire through here, getting it to the other side. I'm going to get the car up on jack stands and we'll go ahead and get this AFR sensor figured out. I thought that I already had an O2 sensor bung welded on this test pipe, but it turns out I don't. And also it looks like the test pipe might be leaking a little bit from here. So I'm going to remove the test pipe, weld on a different O2 bung, and try to patch everything up. It was also leaking a little bit, so I'm going to try to seal up this exhaust leak while I'm at it. I'm a little worried that the O2 bung won't weld up very good because it's stainless steel, but I did some research and apparently I should be able to weld stainless. So we'll see how it goes. It hasn't worked out that great for me in the past, but hopefully we can melt this thing on without making it look too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the test pipe, drill a hole in it, get the O2 bung welded in, and we'll throw it back together and see what happens. All right, so I got the test pipe out. And it has definitely seen better days, but it should still work. So I got the spot marked out that I want to drill for my O2 bung. It is leaking, but it looks like the flanges are flat, so it might actually be my exhaust that needs to get fixed or replaced. For the time being, I may try to get some high temp RTV or maybe double up the gaskets or something. I'm not really sure. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing in the vise, break the hole saw out, and let's start welding up this O2 bung. definitely drilled the hole a little bit too big, but that's fine. I should be able to tack this in place and fill in the gap with the weld. It's really not a big gap at all. This should work out just fine. So it actually ended up welding a little nicer than I anticipated. I'm a little rusty for sure, so it's not the cleanest welds, but it's on there and it's not going to leak, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this test pipe, get the O2 sensor ran, and fire this thing up. I got the O2 sensor in for my AFR gauge, and everything should be wired up properly. So let's go ahead and power this thing up and make sure everything's working out fine. All right, we seem to be getting power to the gauges. A little bit of a rough start there. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a good signal from our AFR sensor. My vacuum is a little low, so I may have to track down a vacuum leak. I don't know, I'll look into that later, but I'm pretty stoked that my AFR gauge is working now. My boost gauge is working now. It's idling a little lean, but that's pretty standard for SRs, honestly. Alright, so taking a look at the old unit, you can tell this thing had seen better days. I think this is like an old Megan racing arm, and it's like the oldest arm that I had on my car, and it definitely needed to be retired a long time ago. It's high time I replace these old things anyways. So next thing I'm going to do is try to match up these arms just to give me a good starting point, and then try to eye out the alignment from there. Let's get the other arm out of the other side and go ahead and swap these things around. Okay guys, so I got the O2 sensor working. O2 gauge seems to be reading just fine. Rear upper control arms are in, which is sick. That means when I get the chance, I can go get this thing on the alignment rack and get the alignment sorted out, which is good. Other than that, I honestly found a lot of other issues while I was working on the car, ran into some stuff. It was a pretty frustrating day working on this thing, not gonna lie. And sometimes that's just how it goes. Not every day can be exciting when you're working on these cars, and I try to make my videos as entertaining as I can for you guys, but sometimes the reality of working on these cars is you just run into issues and things get frustrating. So I'm sorry if today's video wasn't as exciting as it usually is. I definitely got some better stuff coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, sometimes that's just a part of it. Anybody who's worked on any S chassis knows that most of the time working on these things, you run into more problems than you end up fixing, and it just is what it is. It's a part of the game, I suppose. So if you guys feel my pain, leave a like on the video. It helps me out a lot more than you realize, and definitely subscribe to stay tuned for some more stuff coming in the future. I promise I have some good videos coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. I gotta get inside, I gotta edit this thing and upload it, so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.